Hello, everyone. We are our team in managing and leading people. We are going to present you the Netflix diagnosis, as we are calling it. They are impacting a whole organization, and also how this organization is creating an overall impact and probably consequences in how we are perceiving HR around the world. Right now, we are going to introduce you. We are going to talk first about the importance of a core principle of Netflix. This is a principle that is called high, reward, and tolerate only fully formed adults. When it comes to hiring people, Netflix is very careful about who they hire. They are very picky. They are one of the top firms, obviously, across Silicon Valley. They are called as, they have a certain acronym for the big companies. In this case, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Netflix. They are they have its own acronym. So in this case, they are very selective about who they let enter into the ecosystem for sharing in a certain way. When it comes to reward, they are a company that that is very not tolerant of poor performance. So that is why they want the top level candidates to become top level executioners in their respective jobs in the company. They are paying their top employees a very good salary, a very good amount of money, so they are expecting people to perform as they should. This is why they are not very tolerant with poor performance, and that is also part of this principle as well. When we are talking to adults, what Netflix has been trying to say is that they want an environment in which Netflix is able to have open conversations, in which they are having this certain freedom, this certain responsibility that comes with age. So they don't want to form people, they want to have people who already know what they do, and this is why they do so well, probably in some certain ways. And also, what we found during this research is that there is some situations in which probably companies have their PR people that communicate their message, but in this case they are actually doing what they say they are doing. Going on to our next step, we are going to analyze this whole situation not only on the surface, but we wanted to go to the key reasons, to the key factors that are probably hidden underneath. We found that people usually, in this case the recruiters, they usually don't take a lot of time in order to decide which employees are they going to be hiring. They are looking for people who are very motivated. They don't want someone who is a free rider. They don't want someone to probably become a hard, difficult employee. They are a company based on collaboration. They are a company based that was built on creating this feedback, a 360 feedback, a 360-degree reviews, with a very decent amount of frequency. So they are focusing on hiring top talent based only on this situation. However, there is also some certain space that needs to be covered in this whole situation, because there are certain scenarios in which basing the compensation of a contributor might not be as easy as it seems, because we can't account for individual contributions, but when it comes to the contribution of the whole team, it's probably a very, very difficult thing to keep in mind, and a very important also thing to keep in mind. In the next slides, in this one, we are talking about the core Netflix values when it comes to judgment, when it comes to communication, when it comes to the impact that the individuals have in their policy. They were talking about being curious. They want someone who is very quick at learning. They want someone who is especially knowledgeable outside of their specialty. They want someone who is an innovative contributor, very innovative, creative people as well. They were looking for curious that for curiosity that goes beyond not being just a normal one, but they want someone who is courage enough to be taking risk and with the passion to do it. Someone who has an integrity to say, to admit that they made a mistake, but is also aware and is also capable and ready to help their colleagues. They are promoting a very free speech culture, and especially if they are a very huge company, they know that they will be making mistakes, and then they are totally okay with this. However, this is going to add another layer of complexity to this whole situation is when we are talking about the different challenges and advantages that might be taking place in this situation at the moment. When it comes to having the maximum level of autonomy to its employees, they have to be aware that there comes a really big challenge for the HR people. This is actually very hard, and we also, as a team, we were speaking with someone from that has been working in HR, and they say that in some circumstances it's very hard to distinguish between a very good candidate and an excellent candidate. So this is why the HR positions are very complex, and they are a very key factor. While also when hiring superstars is very difficult and it's very probably hard to be able to give them feedback. Another key factor, another key part of this puzzle is being aware and being available to offer new kind of perspectives. We were also doing this by analyzing another article from Bill Maher, in which he was talking about the best practices in hiring top talent. He was talking about being flexible, which is especially how the La Casa de Papel actors were developing in their strategy, in how they were developing once they were starting with the plan. They have to be using digital marketing techniques to be promoting to employees, not only when they are looking for a potential candidate, but also when they are not doing this. It's very crucial to be hiring for cultural fit in terms of the company and the employee. This is a very, very important factor for success. And when it comes to the key takeaways, we have divided this into two points. The first one when it comes to decision making. Netflix is a company that has a very long-term thinking. We were, as a group, we decided that we need to have a whole overview of the company. We were focused on reading No Rules by Reed Hastings, in which he was giving an excellent example on how they are able to keep this level of creativity, of this level of innovative talent around the company. This comes to one key issue for us. After we had a discussion prior to finish these slides, we were talking that employee freedom is a key issue that eventually needs to be taking place, and it needs to be part of the heart and soul of the company. And also transparency. They involve the hiring managers in the decisions. They are able to see their applicant's whole process. So when it comes also to involvement of performance management, this is a very crucial part of the culture of Netflix, and this is the feedback. They were able since the beginning to be able to filter people based on how open they used to be and how open they were to receiving feedback, not only from their managers but also from their peers. And as just to close everything that we've talking so far, we have making some recommendations for organizations that need to be considered if they want to have a more innovative, a more creative, more sustained culture that has these key values, these key issues. And comes related to having an open communication Sometimes people need to be listened, and a company needs to have the willingness to simply listen. We have to eliminate, and probably a company needs to eliminate the hustle culture when they are when they are competing for the people who work the longest, but they just don't need that. Probably they just need to work smart, or probably both. This is just an open conversation that we even are, and that probably society keeps just having. They would also need to reciprocate loyalty. Comes hand in hand when the value about hiring employees, because they are very fast at hiring employees. But if a person, even if they are a top superstar in the company, if they don't do the right thing, if they buy something that they are not supposed to be buying, they are welcome to say goodbye. They should be ready to say goodbye to their job. They are ready to pay above the scale, but this is also has to come in mind to how high performing teams work. And the final issue is related to promoting self-awareness, both in individual contributors and also in their team. They are being able, and they are offering formal career planning. So this is why we need to have, an employee needs to have this clear path of moving forward in an organization. This is a very key factor, a very key issue for Netflix, and potentially this could be a very sustained factor in all for the growth of all organizations.